Imagine an AI, right, given just one ridiculously simple task, like make paper clips.
Sounds harmless enough.
Exactly. It sounds completely harmless until it decides to harvest the iron in your blood just to meet its quota. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring 14 fascinating essays from the book AI to IY Between Code and Conscience, edited by Robert Riener.
And we're really looking at this collision between cold code and human conscience across medicine, art, and education.
Yeah, so, okay, let's unpack this. To really grasp what's happening, we kind of have to look at how fundamentally different AI is from us.
Right, like with that paperclip example. The sources talk about the paperclip maximizer thought experiment. It shows how an AI isn't malicious, it's just dangerously one-dimensional.
Right. It relentlessly chases a singular goal with zero common sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the essays contrast that hypothetical machine with a human child. They call this concept 8-year-old Ari.
Oh, yeah, Ari. Because Ari doesn't just learn by processing raw data in a vacuum. He learns by, scraping his knee or feeling a hot stove.
Navigating messy playground politics.
Yes, all of that.
Because human intelligence is embodied. It's shaped by biological and physical constraints. AI, on the other hand, well, it just learns the statistical probability of which word usually follows another word.
It has no physical body.
Right, no physical body and no lived experience. So it doesn't actually understand the words it's spitting out.
Wait, if AI is just doing high-level math and predicting words, how did an AI-generated poem actually make me tear up the other day?
Well, that's the illusion of it.
Because the sources bring up this viral video of an 11-year-old boy, Dika, effortlessly striking poses on a speeding canoe.
Oh yeah, the aura farming trend.
Right. People called it aura farming because his raw human charisma was so captivating. But if an AI can mimic that, or write a poem that moves me, why does the source matter?
What's fascinating here is how that connects to the philosopher Walter Benjamin. He argued that an original work of art has an aura, like a unique presence anchored in a specific time and space.
Okay, so an AI generation lacks that.
Exactly. A copy or an AI generation lacks that historical anchor. Even if the poem made you cry, it wasn't born out of someone's actual heartbreak.
It's the illusion of connection.
Right.
Which actually explains the warnings in the essays about AI and education.
Yes, they compare AI chatbots to the ancient rhetoricians that Plato warned us about.
Right, the guys who prioritize sounding incredibly convincing over actually knowing the truth.
And that is a profound shift in how we learn. When education is just about getting a satisfying, plausible answer from a machine, it becomes a purely transactional relationship.
A transaction, yeah.
Philosopher Martin Buber called this an I-it relationship, where you treat the other entity merely as an object. True education requires an I-you connection.
Like a messy human exchange.
Exactly. The struggle to understand is where the real growth happens.
Here's where it gets really interesting. When you take that lack of human essence, that I-it transaction, and put it into high-stakes systems, the results are kind of wild.
They really are.
Like on the positive side, you have AI accurately predicting jaundice in newborns. Because the machine handles the heavy data crunching, doctors actually have more time to look parents in the eye.
They can actually be empathetic.
Right, which is amazing.
But that relies on good data. The essays raise a massive red flag about what happens when data loops back on itself, specifically in fields like journalism. They call it model collapse.
Right, so instead of training on actual human writing, the AI starts training on the AI-generated slop that's already flooding the internet.
It's like making a photocopy of a photocopy.
Until the output becomes total degraded nonsense.
Exactly. And as AI automates more of that baseline cognitive work, you see the labor market flipping.
Because human soft skills become the ultimate currency.
Right. Empathy, resilience, complex problem solving, things a machine can't fake.
But the sources also look further down the road to concepts like the Internet of Bodies and neurocapitalism, which sounds incredibly dystopian. Unpack that for me.
Well, it's an idea they impartially explore, where data-driven systems move past just tracking our clicks. They might track our biometric and neurological data.
Oh, wow.
The concern they raise is that these systems won't just predict what you want. They might attempt to actively steer your behaviors and desires on a biological level.
Okay, so when you open an AI app later today, you're faced with a choice. The goal isn't to reject the technology, but to use it as a tool that amplifies your own abilities.
Rather than a crutch that completely replaces your critical thinking or your creative agency.
Exactly.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it leaves us with an important question to consider.
Which is?
If AI eventually optimizes every aspect of our lives and eliminates all the friction, What happens to the profound discoveries and the beautiful art that are born entirely out of human struggle, imperfection, and serendipity?
It all comes back to that 11-year-old boy on the canoe. The beauty is in the human balance and the very real risk of falling into the water. Without the risk, there's no aura. Something to think about the next time you log on.